Hello, 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 everybody. It's Sunday. Sunday, where I'm going to sew today. I'm hoping that this works. We haven't scheduled a live in a long time because every time we've ever tried, it doesn't work. It kicks us off, blah, 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 blah. Or it turns the screen. But we tested it 2 times prior to scheduling live, and it worked. So it looks like it's working so far. So good. Fingers crossed. Anyways. Let's see who is all here. Vicky, Dawn, Shirley, Karen, Grace, Pat, Rowena, Gloria, Aldia, Faye, Alina, Leanne, Joyce, Brenda, Norma, James, Kim, and so many more. Hello, hello, everybody. So, I get mail all the time that has scraps. And one of the bags of scraps was in a Ziploc bag like this, had all these reds and pinks in it. So I opened it, was it last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, last night. I pulled out the bag, opened it, and pressed everything to see what's all here. And there is a bunch of 2 patches with a light and a dark. And then there was a bunch of, and those are 2.5-inch squares. And then there was a bunch of 2.5-inch squares of just by themselves, so I'm going to turn them into 2 patches and make a 4-patch. Then there was a whole pile of 6.5-inch, 2.5-inch by 6.5-inch, but only 3 lights, and then a whole stack of oddball length ones. Like, they're not very big. So I have decided, I have it light and dark, big, huge dark, a little bit of light, and then these. I'm going to make more 4 patches. More 2 patches to turn all this into 4 patches. And then I will take from the light and cut a 4.5-inch rectangle for each of all of these. And then by the time I add the next side, almost like a half log cabin, but I'm not building on to the 2-patch part. Instead, I'm going to turn it into a 4-patch so that I don't have any leftover of the 2-patch, the singles, you know. And then it'll be a dark 6.5 by the time I get to there, and then it'll be a light again, and I'll cut what I can get from, it'll be another 6.5, and then it'll be an 8.5 of dark. So they're going to be light side and a dark side of a 4-patch, if that makes any sense. And I'm just going to build on one side only, so it's kind of log cabin or half log cabin-ish with what I have, because this is all I have. So, and I added a couple fabrics to it because in my, I have a drawer that I throw all 2.5-inch strip leftovers from jelly rolls and stuff in. And that drawer had like 5 different light colors in it because I didn't think there was going to be enough light because there wasn't. So I added some 2.5-inch strips from my stash that were light colored to go with this. So hopefully there's enough to make something. It's going to be small. I don't think this is going to be very big because I don't think I'm going to be able to get past the 8.5-inch mark. And if I do, it's because I'll be adding 2 pieces to it, which is okay because again, it's a scrap quilt and it really doesn't matter. So that's what I'm doing today, is playing with 2.5-inch scraps, pretty much, that are dark and light. So I'm going to start making these 4 patches. I'm going to start by getting these 2 parts done. And I also need to, I was sewing other stuff. Have to make sure I have a good stitch length. So that's what I'm doing today. So we can just hang out while I do that. So this weekend, I had a lovely weekend. Yesterday was my daughter Maxine's wedding. She is now married, woohoo! And it was so beautiful. Everything was amazing. They had food and they had like this really cool, it was outdoors, which kind of was bad because it was hot yesterday.
And
it was
everyone was sweating.
Everybody was sweating. Even Maxine was coming up with her little dress on. Oh my God, it's too hot. It was hot and sweaty, and I told him, because there was a pool in that backyard, I was like, you could have just had a pool wedding, because it's summertime. People do it at lakes and stuff. So I'm sure there's got to be a wedding in the pool, like a pool party wedding. That would be awesome, right?
Yeah.
They should have had something like that. But Either way, it was beautiful. There was lots of seating. They had food. I liked the teriyaki chicken stuff. That was pretty delicious. It was breaded chicken, but was soaked in teriyaki sauce, and it was actually really good. And the pulled pork was amazing. Oh, but he liked the
Brussels sprouts with bacon and cheese.
Bacon and cheese Brussels sprouts. I am not a Brussels sprouts fan.
But they had bacon and cheese.
But they had bacon and cheese Brussels sprouts, and I'm like, oh. But he ate them. But yeah, they had food, and then they had their cake, but not a big cake, just a little cake for Maxine and to cut, and then I'm trying to think.
Well, is the 4-patch going to land in the corner?
Is the 4-patch going to land in the corner? I don't know what you mean.
What you're doing.
Oh yeah, it's going to be down in the bottom corner. Yeah, it'll be a corner 4-patch.
An actual work question.
Oh yeah. No, but it was beautiful. Maxine looked amazing. Nobody took pictures. It was a no pictures. They had a photographer for a reason, so there was no filming. I was on my cell phone though because my daughter Alexa could not attend because she lives in Tennessee, obviously. So we had her on my phone. Literally, she was video chatting, and I turned the screen so it came out the back one and just held it like this the whole time, so that she could attend the wedding. Like, I was like, sorry in advance if it gets really, really shaky, because I'm just sitting there and I shake already, because I don't know if you guys know with MS you shake. And yeah, so I'm like hoping that I'm like holding it down, trying to stay still so that Alexa could be part of the wedding. But everything worked out good. It was great. She had a lot of, I got to meet Kelsey's family. I didn't know them, never met them. So now I do. And it was great. Everybody was lovely and wonderful. It was great. So that's what I did this weekend. And then I played in my fabric room. That's all I've been doing as of lately. In the evening time, I go in there for like an hour. I've been making, I've been using my scraps to make cards. So if you guys watched the Open Gate video that was just recently posted, there was a card in there that was a postcard, fabric postcard, but in a frame. So I'm going to show you guys all these that I've been making. I'm still working on some, but if you watched the Open Gate video, I made this because she had these cool card things. So instead of it being open, it goes into an envelope, you know, and it's turned into a card, but it's fabric. So I have been making little fabric thank you cards for people when I long arm quilt and stuff. So there's one. There's two. I've already given one away. There's number 3. And this is just from my scraps. You know me, I love the color purple. And they're all quilted funky and differently. Some of them are just straight line quilting like this one. But I'm just playing with scraps, making these cute little cards. And I have some that are in progress. Oops. Let me grab that real quick. So this is what the frame actually looks like. I think it's actually supposed to be for like a photo. You put the photo in it and then you send a photo card. But it works perfect because they're 5x7. So here's one that's in progress. Here's another one in progress.
I said you should do those instead of making cards.
Scott says I should turn all these into a quilt instead of making cards.
Yeah, those little blocks are awesome.
But they're all just funky little blocks that are 5x7. I'm just being weird with scraps, and obviously I'm on a purple kick right now, so I'm making tons of purple ones. But yeah, that's what I've been doing the last like 3-4 days now. I just was obsessed with it, and now I can say I've made a ton of postcard quilts.
I think you should make a quilt.
But he says I should turn it all into a big giant quilt.
Well, they make beautiful little blocks. They're so cool.
So maybe in the future I'll start turning some of them. I still want to make them because they're like little 5x7 blocks, but I guess in the future I'll turn some of them into a quilt with 5x7 blocks. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I think they're adorable. I like them. Because you get to be creative with a little small square. Yeah, you know, it's really hard because it becomes 5x7 and quilting, most things are square. So it makes it hard to get a 5x7, you know, to do anything specific. So if you make a block, say a 4-patch, you still have to build around the sides of it and the top and bottom to make it 5x7. So unless you do a 4-patch with 3 by 3-inch squares or something like that, but you still have to cut it to be rectangle. But I want them to all be different and funky because they're scrap fabrics and I'm having fun with them. So that way, when I send a thank you note here and there, it's not going to always happen because I, you know, might not always make them, but here and there, someone randomly will get, you know, a thank you card that's actually a homemade card by me. And I could spread my quilting joy all over the place. But they're really fun to make.
Where did you get the photo card?
So the photo cards I got from Monique at Open Gate Quilts, but they actually come from, let me tell you this because I know you guys are going to want to know. So they come in big packages like this. I don't have enough envelopes for them. She didn't have any leftover envelopes. But this comes from clearbags.com. Can you read that? Probably not. ClearBags.com is the website that they come from. Clearbags, right here, .com. Can you see that? I'm wondering if you can scan this QR code right here. I'm going to put it big on the screen. There. If you scan that QR code, it might take you to them. But that's what they are. I figured I'd tell you guys all about it because I didn't know where they came from. I had to ask Monique. So she sent me what was left, and then I have the, you know, clearbags.com I can go to get more when I run myself out. Oh, hey, can you...
What? Am I ironing?
No, I'm going to do it right here in front of me, ironing.
You want the little iron on there?
Yeah, I need my little ironing board.
I got you. I know what all you want.
And then plug it in at this one right here.
Do we put water in here?
Oh, yeah, you could put some water in there, yes.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how.
Oh, the little lip thing.
Oh, it's so cute. It's a cute little thing.
Yes, it is.
Where's the fill line? How do I know how high I fill it till it overflows?
You just fill it until it looks like it's full. I love this little iron. It's what I've been using to make my... Did I sew 2 to 1? I counted this, and I could have swore it was an equal amount.
We've been talking.
I probably sewed 2 to 1. Let's check and see.
Both these?
Yes, please. Yep. Thank you. All right. Let's make sure that these are just singles. Oop, my scissors almost broke. So that's a single. I made sure I counted all this stuff to make sure I had enough to even start what I thought would be. That's only 2. That's 2. Oh, wow, the iron is talking to me. It is making a water mess.
Maybe I filled it too full.
Yeah, you probably filled it too full.
I didn't go as high as you even said to.
That's single. That looks like only 2. That looks like only 2. That looks like only 2. What did I do wrong here?
Brand iron it? This is sunbeam?
Yeah, this is a sunbeam, a little sunbeam iron. Actually, it's kind of gross right here on the side. So I take a scrap yucky cloth and I rub it into the crack of the iron to get the fabric dust out of there. I do this on the big irons too. Or else you'll get a burning smell because that fabric dust builds up. But I've been using the heck out of this, making all those little cards. Oh well, I'm just going to look and see. When I start opening this, maybe I'll find one that has more than one piece. I have one of those little cutter things, and I'm still using my snips to snip apart chain piecing. All right, and then which way are all these pressed? To the dark. Okay. So I'm just finishing this as somebody else's start. I'm just making it my own. The fabrics are a little thinner filling to me than most fabrics, so they kind of like stick to each other really easily. You know what I like about this little iron is that it doesn't get too hot sitting on next to me. Like the bigger iron gets hot and heats this whole room up, and summer is coming here because we don't really have much of a spring. It just starts being hot. So having an extra hot room while making quilts is not good. So this little iron will come in handy during the summertime. So far, these all seem to be one. I probably just miscounted. I think the only thing I don't like about this iron is it comes out from that side, so it's backwards for me. If I could iron left-handed, it would be the right side.
I see what you're saying.
But it comes out on
Yeah,
that opposite
iron.
side.
It's a lefty iron.
Yep, it's a lefty iron. People don't know this, but you got to watch which way the cord comes out, because then it works best for left-handed or right-handed, depending on which way the cord comes out. If they come straight out the back, though, then it can be any hand. It's just sunbeam.
Let me read it. Can you let me read it?
Oop. And it gets plenty hot, too. I've burned my fingers with it. It's a great little iron. The only reason why I burn my fingers, though, is because I play with tiny piecing. All right. Now I could turn all this, and I just burnt myself again.
You sure you want to keep using that one? Do you
Well,
mind?
no, I just tapped my arm against it. Now I'm going to turn these all into 4 patches.
Do you want me to just iron? Or do you want to use mine? Mine's not much bigger than that.
No, I'm okay.
What way are you going to keep burning yourself?
No, I'm fine. I just accidentally tapped it. It's a wonder, you know, why my arms are still attached to my body with these darn irons. You'd think I'd have burnt them off already. Oh goodness, come on. So these are just little 4 patches now. Hopefully every time I grab two, they'll be totally different and they won't be the same all the way down. Although I probably should mix some of this up because some of it when I was going through it all, you know, to see what was here. Oops. Light, light, dark. It's been a while since I made a quilt that was all one color pretty much. This is two colors, but technically pink is a light shade of red, you know?
How do you attach the quilted piece to the card?
How do I attach it?
Yeah.
I sew it to each other. I sew it in. I put it inside there and then I sew it. I actually sew through the cardboard. So if you want to see how it's done, go to the open gate video from this month. This month's open gate. But Scott says I should do another one, so I'll just do that tomorrow or something, or the next day.
Any videos this week?
Yeah.
No mail openings, no breakfast at Tiffany's.
I guess we could just go live then tomorrow and make some cards, since I got to finish those ones anyway. You know? And grab another pile of scraps to start. I'm just grabbing little piles of scraps to make these. Because I technically started separating all my scraps by color. I know, it's so weird of me, but my fabric on the shelves is in like a rainbow color order, but it's more in theme color than it is rainbow color, I guess. But, you know, I can just grab some more and come on tomorrow. And start some more of my little cards. Plus, if I can remember, if I have to rip it all, I'm going to remember this right now. If I need to rip more than one person has asked, but somebody directly messaged me and asked, they saw me ripping a seam, I don't know, in a video and realized that I do it kind of weird, I guess. I guess they've never seen it before. And so she asked if I could show it. And I said, well, remind me in the next live stream. But now I reminded myself. So if I have to rip a long seam, then I could show you guys how to do that. Because some people are curious how I do that. Fabric. We don't want the same fabric together. Oh, nope, that's the same fabric too. We don't want the same fabric together. Nope, nope, nope. I want them all to be different. I like when scraps are given to me and it's all the same matchy stuff. And there's enough to make. I don't even know how big this will be. This will probably be, you know, a little wall hanging size, maybe bigger. Maybe it'll be bigger. Who knows? Okay, now they're starting to get close to being the same. Yeah, it's two different ones. So hopefully everybody had a good weekend so far this weekend. A little bit left of today, and then it's off to having the Mondays. Yeah. That's considered light in that pile. Glad I put a whole fresh bobbin in here so that this will last, hopefully. I'm going to pre-put some of these in together because that one is totally different. This one is totally different. This one is totally different. Totally different. And totally different. Okay.
Lois said they got snow today in
Snow?
Canada. I told her to send it here because people are already turning their AC on.
Yep, we got the AC's already being turned on here.
Yeah, all
it's
of our
warm.
neighbors are already turning theirs on.
We have the fans on in our house, but we open in the doors and windows in the morning to let the really cooler morning in, and then we seal the house and make it dark. And that's how we keep it cool all day. So if you've ever been to my house, you know we keep our house really dark. Eric's been to my house. He knows. I saw his name in the chat. Yeah, we keep it dark. It helps, I think. You know, a lot of people always say, well, they always have their ACs turned way, way down. We keep ours at 80, but we keep our house dark. So we don't have to worry about, you know, the heat coming back in and, you know, like rewarming the house back up, I guess is what you would call it.
Do we have a shop hop?
A shop hop?
In Arizona.
Well, there's probably an Arizona shop hop. There's only one shop here, so that
it's obviously not in our town.
It's not in our town, yeah.
They're talking about shop hops in Texas
Yeah,
and other states. So I was saying.
I've never done a shop hop, but my friend Terry, who lives locally here, she and I have talked about doing one because she has a motorhome, you know, and we'd be able to just travel around the state in ease. But we haven't done it, obviously. I don't do well with travel, so it would make it kind of hard anyway. Oh, look, I at least ended with a... no, I did not. There was one stuck to itself. I wonder if I just cut from one of these and just turn that into the last one. Because this was an oddball amount anyway right here. I need a ruler.
Which one? Do you want me to hand you one of these or do you want one of those?
No. I don't need that. Let's make one more. And then we'll have an equal amount, which we probably won't even use anyway, but we're going to pretend we will. Press that to the dark, and then we'll have an equal amount. So put this with this one, this with this one, and nope, can't do that. And with that one, nope, that doesn't work. Ah, I should have cut from a different color. Oh well, let's just put them together. If they're the same, oh well, who's gonna know? Only me. And all of you.
Oh, here's one. What model Juki do you have?
My Juki, and the question was what model Juki? My Juki is a TL 2010Q. I love it so much I own 2 of these. But I love Juki machines so much that I own 1, 2, 3, 4 Jukis. Okay, you know what? I have this for a reason. Let's use it. So much faster. Ooh, dropping things here. I should have counted how many there were. That's okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to press these now just to one side or the other. Honestly, it really is not going to matter because it's not going to matter. I'm going to take these two piles, though, and stick them up that way so I can put this more in front of me and move that out of the way because I cut my pinky finger the other day. Because what did I do? I left my blade open, and then all my stuff knocked it to like this while the blade was open, and then I reached over, don't burn myself, like this, and I tapped my pinky finger to it, and it chopped the front part of my pinky finger right at the knuckle. Yep, because those things are sharp. Okay, and there's a long thread tail. Come on. Any questions or anything? I feel like I went silent.
They said you could iron some and Iron Man could do some.
Yeah, but we can't plug two irons in the same room, unfortunately.
Oh, you could just let me do it.
So I actually, when we moved, like when me and Scott met a long time ago, we had our own houses and we tried to sell this one and it didn't sell. And that way we can keep the bigger house because I was in a 5-bedroom and this one's only a 3. And back then my kids were little and they all had their own bedroom. And it was amazing because they didn't fight as much. You know, they still fought, but not as much. As soon as we moved into this house, they fought all the time. Because they, you know, she's on my side of the room. She's doing this. He's doing that. He kicked me. He won't let me sleep. It was just constant, you know. But anyways, it was cheaper for us to just move back over here anyway than buying a new house. So we move into this one. And now we didn't realize it for many years because the kids had these rooms and they really didn't plug anything in, you know. Because like they didn't have, my kids were raised, they didn't have their own computers, you know, until they were older and in school, like high school. And even then they got their computers themselves somehow, some way. They didn't have cell phones. Alexa didn't get her first cell phone until she was 13 years old. And that was for me to, you know, be able to call her because she walked her siblings home from school. So they didn't have much to plug in their rooms, you know. The TV was in the living room, you know, and so it was weird because as soon as I moved into this room, I go to start plugging all these sewing machines and everything in here. And yeah, we found out the plug that's behind the camera behind you guys can't plug any irons or anything into it. It runs my machine and a lamp, but that's it. It won't run any irons. It blows the fuse of our house every single time. And then there's a plug that's next to the ironing board, literally. And that one also blows a fuse. Go figure, right? So we have an extension cord running from that wall to this wall for an iron, and then from this wall to here for this iron. But we can't run them at the same time because, again, we'll blow a fuse. It's weird because in the garage, I was able to run an iron, you know, plug in irons anywhere and everywhere. But in the house, nope, not in this room at least.
Okay. I made pinwheel blocks to make a lap quilt. Is there a fun in-between border to add to it?
I made pinwheel blocks to make a fun pinwheel quilt. What is the rest of the question?
Make a lap quilt.
To make a lap quilt, something
Is there a fun in-between border to add to it?
You can
sew them all together.
You could sew them all together, or you can add sashing and cornerstones, or you can just add sashing without cornerstones. You can do double sashing. You can do a sashing that has 3 pieces where it's 2 skinnies and 1 thicker piece. You could, there's so many possibilities. The list is endless. You could also go online and Google, because Google is our best friend, okay? When it comes to quilting, there's so many answers. You can look up pictures under images of pinwheel quilts and get different ideas of what you can do with pinwheels, you know? But yeah, there's so many options, so many options. I have a couple videos of pinwheel quilts too. You gotta find them though, because I, for the longest time, never named any of my videos. Like here, I say I'm working with scraps, you know, so I'm working with scraps, but I don't actually name them because that is intriguing, you know, because you don't know what I'm really doing. So I never named my videos. I should, but I don't. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, putting it higher.
Yeah,
I was gonna.
I'm getting stuff to do an option.
Okay. Okay. Nope. All right. Almost done. Couple more left to press. And then I think I'll count them to see how many there really is, because now I got to cut 4.5-inch rectangles out of my light.
We haven't done one since we did the deep stairs. Last week we tried, but you were using the wall and then you got the camera.
Yeah. There's Easter behind you, which is, well, no, separate. Alrighty. So Scott is going to hang up an auction. If you don't know how an auction works on here, we started out at a specific number. It's usually $10, or $5, $10, something like that. We started off at a specific amount, and then the auction runs to the highest bidder, and then the highest bidder will email us and tell us how they want to pay. We take Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal. Okay, so whatever he hangs up, it's a table runner, and it's Easter.
Bunnies.
It's got bunnies and carrots. Hold on, I gotta tell him how big it is.
I'm gonna do that.
Oh, okay. He's gonna measure it to get you guys a number, but there it is. Let me count these real quick before my brain goes crazy. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
Why are you doing numbers and numbers?
17, 18, 19, 20. What's it? What is it?
15 by 41 and a half.
15 by 41 and a half. There it is on up there. Okay, that's a pile of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 45. I have 45 pieces. So I'm going to cut a bunch of 45 2.5 by 4.5 inch strips. So honestly, I could probably just stack all these up and then cut them all at the same exact time. Let's save that one big, because they're all different sizes. Like I said, this is, I'm not sure what the person was making with all this, but that's a totally different size too. That's an even longer one. Oh, that's going to start about right there, though, because that has a selvage. And I totally lost count of how many I'm at right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 3, 4. I'm going to try to put 5 in each pile. He's going to bring it close. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can't see the bunnies.
And 5. It was in my made in my most recent Open Gate video, in case you're curious. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more to make this pile 5. 2 more to make this pile 5. Honestly, I probably should only take from the long ones. How many more super long ones do I have? That's not super long. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we're going to attempt to try to take from the long ones. So these 3 right here. See if that helps so that I can go around more than once. Like I said, they're all different sizes, and it was what was left over, so I can only get so much from each one. So these are 3 piles of 5 in each pile, and I need them to be 4.5 inch. Move that out of my way. Cut a nice straight line. And then cut 4.5 inch. So this is 5, 10, 15. 30. All right, keep those long. 30, 31, 2. Take from this really long one. Make 40. All right. One more right here. 4.5. And 5 more. So there's 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. All right. Those can go over there. Yeah, I'm probably only going to be able to go around this. Not very many times. Okay, let's stack all this up, and now I'm just going to add a 4.5 inch to one side of every single one of these.
Okay, Cindy Rose is at 45.
We're at 45. Cindy Rose is at 45. Do I hear 46, 47, 48? I don't really care if this is white, if this is the light that I'm attaching to, or to the dark. It doesn't really matter because, again, I'm just building onto it like a half log cabin. So the more it's mixed up, I guess, the better. It'll be fine. As long as it's not the same exact color touching the 2 fabrics, which so far it hasn't been.
Oh, 47.
We're at 47. Yeah, I didn't think there was very much fabric here for this to use. I don't think it's the equivalent of a jelly roll, that's for sure. Nope, nope, that's 2 pieces. That's also not right sides together. Woo! Get it together, brain, get it together. We're at 50. Come on. I got little pink threads all over me from the fraying of the fabric. Isn't it funny how we just get covered in thread when we're working? Or fabric shred, thread and fabric shred are the same thing. To me, at least. Come on. So again, if you're just joining, what I'm making is just a random project. It was a 4-patch made from 4 2.5-inch squares, making it 4.5-inch. And now I'm taking a 4.5-inch and going on one side of every single one of these. And then I will take a 6.5-inch and go on one side of every single one of them. And then hopefully, if I'm lucky, be able to get another 6.5-inch for the other side from the rest of everything, or 8. Maybe it'll be 8.5 inches, but I don't even know because I'm not thinking. But either way, I'm hoping that there's enough for all of this because there's 45 blocks here, which doesn't even make an equal amount quilt, I don't think.
Okay, so you want to start calling it at 50?
We're at 50. Going once to whom?
Claudia.
50 going twice to Claudia. Sold for 50 to Claudia. Claudia, make sure you send us an email at tiffanysquiltinglife@yahoo.com. There's no apostrophe on the Tiffany's. It's just tiffanysquiltinglife, all one word. No spaces @yahoo.com. And then tell Scott, who's the email guy, how you want to pay. Either PayPal, Zelle, PayPal, or Venmo. Since I can't talk, you know.
And you got the bunnies.
And you got yourself a cute little Easter table runner. Nope, nope, that was the right sides together. another one is going up. This one is,
No, it's not a wall hanging.
it's a table topper. Or a wall hanging. It could be a table topper, it could be a wall hanging. I did not put hooks on it because it could be either.
It's got bunnies on it.
But it does have bunnies, so it's still an Easter one. And it has butterflies and dragonflies, and it is fully custom quilted with some fanciness. Well, you know, sort of fancy, whatever. All right, where's my little separator thing? Where'd it go? Aha, found it. Scott will bring it up in a minute to show you the quilting on it in the back.
Do you use the same thread on your long arm as you do your Juki?
I do not use the same thread on my long arm as I do on my Juki. On my long arm, I exclusively use glide thread. It is my 100% preferred thread, but I will use isocord because I have isocord too on it, because isocord and glide are like the same exact feel, same exact texture, and it runs through the machine exactly the same. So they have colors that glide doesn't, but glide has so many colors, I just kind of exclusively use that. I do not run cotton thread through my long arm because all it does is mess up my tension and make a disaster. And I'm all about getting things done quick. And if you've seen how fast I sew here, obviously I do the same on my long arm. And well, let's just say cotton thread and my long arm they're not friends. But I use cotton thread here. Right now I'm using our fill thread, which is 40 weight. It's a big giant spool that I had of cream, but usually I use Essentials thread from Connecting Threads, and I think Superior Thread also sells. Oh, but Connecting Threads definitely sells it. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and press all these back now. Oh, you guys could start the bidding on that. It started at 10.
It's got bunnies and butterflies.
It's got bunnies and butterflies, and it is fancily quilted. I didn't know they weren't started already. I thought I said it was once it was up there. Guess not. Then I don't remember everything I say out loud. I forget when Scott's telling me a question from the chat. I forget it by the time the question is there. That's why I usually have him repeat, and that's probably why I never repeat the question, because I don't remember the whole entire thing he said. But I try my best to repeat the question out loud. I just don't always get it. Will you count to see if there's 45 of these?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not exactly the same on both sides. It's not exactly square. It's sort of rectangle.
20 by 19.
It's 20 by 19. So it is an inch different rectangle.
It's a rectangle.
It looks almost fully square, but it's an inch different. And it's got pretty quilting on it, with me like having fun, because
Okay,
you know I'm
now?
having fun. How many pieces
These?
there are there? I need 45, so hopefully there's 45 there. silence my old friend.
How long does the bidding go?
How long does the bidding go? Until we call it.
Call it.
Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10, sometimes I space out, and so I gotta rip a seam. So it's not a very long seam, so it's not gonna last too long, but I'm gonna bring the camera around real quick because this was asked of me and I said it a little bit ago, how I do this. So the camera's gonna move. Camera's moving, camera's moving, camera's moving. Now you get to see the opposite side of things.
27, Tiffany.
Okay, 27, thank you. All right, so here's a seam that needs to be ripped because I sewed it on backwards. This is how I do this because this is normally not in the way for people. I take one little stitch or two out, 1 or 2 little stitches. Just reach in there and grab it until I know that it's open, like this. And I grab the other 2 stitches that are poking out right there. Now it's open. I use, especially on long strips, I don't really do this with short strips, but on long strips, I put it under the foot of my machine to hold it in place. And then I put the ball of the seam ripper on the underside and the pokey side facing away from the block. I slide it in and I hold the end together. I pinch it together. And then all I do is slide the seam ripper down it. And you'll see you'll collect all the threads from the seam ripper, just like that. And then you'll have this long thread. You just pull off the thread from the back. And there I have a fully seam ripped piece. Just like that. It goes that quick. So it was really hard to show you guys on this because this was a really quick one. So if it happens again, then I'll show you again. My wool mat. This one was sent to me, but you can just type in wool mat in Google and it'll take you to websites that have it. So that's how you seam rip. You literally just pluck out a few pieces, use the foot of your machine because you're sitting at the machine, and then just slide it with this the ball on the inside and just slide it along. And you pinch the end though, because if you don't pinch the end, you'll end up poking through the other side of the fabric with the seam ripper. It's really, really easy to do. All right, I'm going to put you guys back over there. Camera is moving. Camera is moving. Camera is moving. It's at 30, by the way. You can hold it up one more time. Yeah, and it's free shipping within the U.S. for those. Outside of the U.S., you guys need to pay because some places are really hard to and expensive to ship to. Some more than others, but definitely. You'd think it would be cheap to send to Canada, but because it's right next to us, but it's not. You want to hold that in front of the camera one more time? This wool mat. Yeah, this wool mat. This one is the newer one. It does smell. It has a hint of, it smells like wet dog to me. The other one that I've been using for what, 6 years now, 5 years, 6 years, that one doesn't smell at all, like whatsoever. It kind of actually smells burnt because it's got stains all over it. But this one does smell like wet dog right now to me. And I don't know how to get over that. And if you wet it to get water on it, it smells worse. But they could be 2 different brands as well. I didn't mean to put the camera way down, sorry. I just put it over there. Sorry guys, he hit the cord and it yanked the camera. All right, he's coming in front of the camera again. He's trying to do it slowly for you all to see the quilting. So it has a fancy little feather thing in one of the borders. It has a double, what is the word for it? Wishbone in another. It has pebbles in another, or what do you call pearl chain. And then tight quilting, and then a really weird thing on the bunnies because it looks like bunny ears to me.
35.
All right, we're at 35. Can you tilt that a little? Yeah.
The cord.
It got, nope,
Cord's pulling it down.
it undid this. Sorry, guys. I got to fix the camera mount real quick. The cord got caught. And it rotated it. Alrighty. Now, you said I had 20 something?
I think 27 it was.
27. Okay. So I need long pieces. I don't think all these are very long, but I'm going to cut some 6.5. That doesn't look very long. Sorry, I'm counting in my head real quick. Trying to grab all the long ones. I thought it was at 35 already. Maybe not. Any more really long ones?
What about the stack of 6.5 you had at the beginning?
That's right here. The stack of 6.5 from the beginning is right here, but there was only 27 of them, and I need 45. Definitely, I'm not gonna. What would I say I was right here? All right, it's not gonna work as I thought, but I'm only gonna be able to do these into 6.5s. There's no way I could go any further. There's not enough. Eight, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43.
Okay, you want to call it today?
Yep.
35.
44. One more. Sorry, my brain is in the middle of
sorry,
this.
I didn't know you were in the middle counting.
45. All right. What is it at?
35.
35 to who? Diane going once. 35 to Diane going twice. And so to Diane for 35. You know how to contact us? Blah, blah, blah. Ruler. Sometimes these rulers can't be picked up off the desk by my wonderful fingers. I've also had fat fingers all day. I call them fat fingers. You guys would say, oh, I don't see anything. But no, my fingers actually swell. It's called invisible swelling. And it hasn't gone down all day long. So they feel like super heavy full, if that is even a thing. But if you guys have ever felt pressure against your skin, but not had visible whatever, I mean, it is visible because I can't move the ring on my finger. But if If you ever had that kind of pressure against your skin, you would know what it feels like. But with MS, I have invisible swelling, and it drives me absolutely nuts when it doesn't go away because it makes the arthritis hurt more. All right, I'm cutting 6.5 inch. Right there's the cutter. Okay. Now I should have 45 6.5 inch pieces, and the rest of all this, I don't know what I'm going to do with, because I can hook it into one really long piece probably and then use it. But we're going to hook these to one side now, so they look like this. Now I'm going to go with one of these and go on the opposite side, which is the 6.5 inch side now. Or at least should be 6.5. I'm also going to put my seam guide back because I moved it out of the way to show you guys. It's perfect right there. Honestly, I just put these on this side and this on this side.
And that on that side.
And that on that side. And this and that. And that and this. Trying to be. Sorry, I'm having a bad day. So, you know, the massage man has to massage me. He sees it. He knows. So if you guys have yourselves a massage man, you should definitely take advantage. Especially while sewing. And this is supposed to be fun, but also relaxing and therapeutic all at the same time. So getting a relaxing therapeutic massage while you're sewing your relaxing therapeutic blocks. I mean, there's nothing better. Well, maybe there is, but, you know. Yeah.
Tiffany, being a naughty girl.
He's like my cheerleader, but the massage kind. What is it called? Don't they have people that do that for like wrestlers and stuff? Somebody that sits on the sidelines and massages like a hurt shoulder or something? Or is that football? What am I thinking? I know there's a sport that does. There's definitely some sport out there that has, you know, somebody that massages on demand. You know, while you're in your sport and you're doing some kind of thing and you pull your calf or something, there's somebody on the sidelines to rub those muscles. I know there is.
Boxing.
Like boxing and stuff, yes.
One trainer stands back and does a little massage while the other one
Yeah.
coaches them.
Yeah, something like that. Well, we can have it in quilting. Sometimes it feels like a sport, you know, when you're sewing all day long. We call that marathon quilting. It's funny.
Said poker games too, really?
Poker, they have somebody sit around and massage you for poker games? That would be amazing. Although I don't think I can keep attention long enough to play poker. I'm not really a card person. I play Uno with the family, but that's as far as it goes. I used to like, I've gone to the casinos in the past when I was younger because I live next to Vegas, you know. But I never really, I don't drink. I don't party. So I don't go to clubs. I never felt the whatever urge to sit and gamble either. But when I did sit and gamble, because I was with a group of friends, I'd play blackjack. But that's it. I never really got into it. And then every now and then I'd play the Wheel of Fortune slot machines. Why? Because you get a chance to win a lot of money. Spin that wheel!
You could have had a masseuse massage you while you were playing blackjack.
Right? I've never seen that, but then I've never watched poker. I've never watched those shows, you know, on TV. I don't think I've had cable since I was like probably 20. And even then, I didn't pay for it. It was my mother-in-law at the time. She had cable so that she could watch the news in the morning. Other than that, I don't really watch cable. I don't watch TV. We watch, streaming TV now. There's going to be a lot of repeat pieces in here. So when I lay it out, I'll just have to watch for that. There's no way I'm going to get 45 pieces that are another 6.5 and 8.5 from that. So I'm stopping at this on one side of everything. So I will have 45 6.5-inch blocks, but I could make more blocks with the last of all this. Honestly, I could do that. That way I have more than 45. What's an equal number to do? What is it for 6 across by 7 now? What's 6 times 7? 42. I have 45. So 7 times 7 is 49. So I have 45. So if I make 4 more blocks, I can do 7 across by 7 down. That's what I'm going to do. And make a little, it's probably going to be like wall hanging size. I don't know. They're 6.5-inch blocks. I'm not going to go very far. So I will make 4 extra blocks with what's left. Hopefully. There should be enough for that. I like making stuff like this, because it really doesn't matter where anything goes. You just place it next to each other and it looks good no matter what you do, because it's pretty much 2 colors, but there's a little hint of purple in some of this. So technically it's kind of like 3 colors. Huh? My Juki is a TL2010Q. You can find it at SewingMachinesPlus. Scott put a link in. It's about due time I get another one, because this one is still having its little quirky problems, and I cleaned it out, so I don't know what's wrong with it. It's doing good today, which is a plus. As long as it cooperates while I'm on live stream, I don't care. Nothing wrong with these machines, by the way. They do last through a lot. I torture my machines compared to most people. I literally put them through the ringer. I sew a lot more than the average person who sews. So this machine, my previous one lasted 8 years. And it's still going. I blew the motor on it and got a new motor. So it's still going. It's now 9 years old. So this one's going on, it's 2 years old now, because I got it right before, April. I got it in May of 2 years ago. No, not May. March. Sorry. March is before April. The month that's before April. The only reason why this one's having problems, though, I think, is because this one I haven't been doing upkeep as good as I with my previous one. 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Thinking it was older.
No.
Only 2?
It's only 2. I got it, remember, because I pre-recorded the video before Cyrus died. All right. Let's find the little separator thing again.
I don't know. I still think it's 3.
We're going to make 4 more blocks.
5 now.
Real quick.
You telling me you just got that in 2023?
Yeah. So I need 2.
Okay.
I'm making 4 more blocks, right? So I need 4 pieces that are 6.5. That's 4. So we're going to cut these at 6.5. All right. Then I need 2.5 from. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 2, 4, 6, 8. I need 8 2.5 lights and 8 2.5 darks. Those are definitely not 2.5, but this and this might be. And that's definitely not. And this for sure is. And oh, this for sure is too. See, I'm going to use all these scraps down to as much as I can get off of them. So I need 1. That's 1 block's worth. 2 blocks worth. I need another light. 3 blocks worth. And 1 more. That's 4 blocks worth. Okay, now I need 4 2.5, 4.5 of a light. Just need 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, and these are going to be 4.5. Ta-da! And then I got the 6.5s already cut. There we go. So I'm going to piece 4 more 4 patches, and then I'll start. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Here we go. 2 of these. Oh, no, I need 4 darks. Oops. I need 4 dark 2.5-inch squares. There's enough from these right here. 1, 2. I knew I was missing something. 3, and number 4 right here. 2.5-inch. Oh, no, I need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 blocks. Wow. Whew. You know. 3 and 4. Sometimes. All right. 2 for this one and 2 for that one. Here we go. I'm just going to make a few more blocks. Few more blocks. So I'm going to separate these in sets of 2 because I already just did whatever, and now I just need to finger press them, sew them together. Who says you need to iron in between as long as everything's already in the proper direction?
Lady asked if you could spend rent time in your brain.
Rent time in my brain, huh? Technically, you get time in my brain for free because, this happens every video. Just, it's just there. The mind is a powerful thing, and I share it with everybody. All right, instead of wasting time ironing, I'm just going to finger press these and sew the 4.5 inch to one side and, just get this done. Again, it didn't matter what side I sewed it to because, it's a scrap quilt and I don't really care. So I can go to the light first, I can go to the dark first. I'm not caring about that because, again, scraps. That's my excuse every time. Scraps. Okay, none of those are the same. Okay, I just had to check them, make sure that they weren't going to be the same. All right, and instead of wasting time at the iron, I'm going to repeat and get the last piece on. Again, it didn't matter what side, as long as I don't have matching fabric on the edge of it, which I'm hoping I don't because there's only 4 to choose from. And the possibilities of 4 pieces are not endless, Something will always end up the same. Oh, it decided to act up again. All right, what did you do? Oh, it started on this block. It's because I didn't press, huh? It's yelling at me because I wasn't taking the proper steps to make a quilt. Oh, it's stuck. Well, if I can't get this bobbin out of here, oh, there it goes. Sorry if you heard me making that sound. It sometimes is loud and sometimes it... See why you can't use some bobbins? They tingle on themselves inside. So I always hand these over to Scott so he can just... I call it, that's it, done. Put a fresh one in. Yeah, that's what happens when the machine acts up. It does weird things like tangles bobbins.
Oh, it's fine. We got this.
All right, so there's no tension available right here. It's literally not hooked, but I'm just going to literally sew right over it. No, not again. Let's test her fabric first. Sometimes I have struggles just like you guys. It is not all fine and fair here. Okay. Oh, it even messed the tension up. What the haywire? Sure, I'm on that line. Yep. Okay. Now it looks good. you do know that this kind of stuff happens. Don't freak out. Talk to your machine. It will listen, maybe. I do have to get rid of this, though. It's now a big old chunk of yuck. All right. Reline it back up. And attempt a 1/4 inch seam. Put my lovely thing back. It's about right there, I think. And last one. All right, now all I gotta do is press all of this. I'm gonna move all that out of the way. I probably could make a few more blocks, but I don't think enough to go. I don't think there's gonna be enough to do that many more for another 7 blocks to have 8 across by 7, 7 across by 8 down, you know what I mean? This will be perfect though. I think it's gonna be like baby size, 6.5. I'm trying to think of 7 times 6. What's 7 times 6?
30 assets, 42.
42. Yeah, so it'll be 42 by 42, which is perfect for a baby quilt. And it's like, these fabrics kind of remind me of like vintage fabrics, so it definitely has one of those like vintage feels to it. All right, so I'm going to press all these and then we'll lay them on the wall and see what it looks like. We'll try to mix all the colors around as best as possible because they are, at this point, as scrappy as it gets, but we still don't want to match 2 same colors next to each other. And yes, if you're seeing these up close, these blocks are kind of wonky. They weren't exactly 4.5 inches because those first ones I don't think were exactly 4.5. So some of them are exact and some of them stick over. But guess what? I'm gonna still put them together. It'll all be within a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm sure of it. I'm not trimming any of this. I think that's just too much work. Like this one landed perfect on both sides. Not my fault if it's messed up. Like I said, I don't know what the person was trying to build. I'm just going with the flow and making my own thing.
What weight thread do you use?
I use 40 weight thread. I like to piece with 50 weight thread, which is what the essentials are, but right now, unfortunately, I have the 40 weight on there. But I'm trying to use these spools. If I don't use these spools up, then they're just going to get bad sitting in a drawer. It's already been in the drawer for like 5 years. So, I mean, my long arm thread, I go through so much long arm thread, I never have to worry about that getting old because I go through it like crazy. And then my normal essentials thread, I go through like crazy. But all these other threads I have lying around in all these spaces, I don't use them as much. So I take the chance of it, being bad at some point in time. I have some old thread too, and I've tried to run it through the Juki. It doesn't run, it breaks constantly. It'll run through my little brother SQ9285 though, because that machine goes so slow that it'll sew with any thread. But I don't use that machine, so Not anymore, now that I got the Juki HZLF 600. So the other one's just for when I have, like, you know, my daughter over or something. Or even Gabby. Gabby can use that one, my daughter-in-law. Yeah, because she does it so very fast. And when she was here yesterday, because her and Damon were over here yesterday, she saw the little cards that I make, and she's like, "Oh my God, these are so cute! Damon, come look!" But Damon and Scott were talking, so I just brought them out there to show him, and he's like, "Oh, those are cool."
How long does it take for a spool of thread to go bad?
How long does it take? I don't know, honestly. Some of these spools I have, like, okay, so I had some old wooden spools of thread that I got when I first started sewing, and I had to empty them. I have the spools up there, but they were full of thread, and I just barely. And I don't know how long ago wooden spools stopped being used, but I barely even pulled on it, and it was just breaking like crazy. I didn't even have to put any tension. I just started unspooling it, and it was bad, and it was falling apart. So those had to have been at least more than 50 years old. You know, I don't know. I know that exposure to sunlight can make it go bad, or being stored outside in the humidity. So if, like, you have you live in a humid area, and you have all your storage of your threads and fabric and stuff out in a garage, you might need to take it all out and, you know, let it air out inside the house or something to get rid of the humidity in it, because that could also ruin thread. I don't know as much as I should about thread, but I do know that it can fall apart.
What do you think of using the big cones of thread on a serger for the Juki?
You can use the serger thread on the Juki. If you want a piece with the serger thread, just know that serger thread is on the Juki, and well, even in my serger, it's so messy, so messy. It makes a big mess because it's not quite it's polyester, but it's not quite 100. I don't know what it is, but it's still dusty. It's a dusty thread, very dusty. Because my serger has serger thread on it, obviously, and my serger thread is like so dusty. It makes quite the mess. And I don't even know what brand I have over there. I think it's Maxi Lock is what it's called. Maxi Lock. Yeah, I think that's the word for it. I don't buy it enough to know. I have some in the drawer right here for when I finally do run out. But I don't use the serger enough to know. Pretty sure it's called Maxi Lock. But I'm pretty sure you can use it on the sewing machine. They also make poly wrapped cotton, or cotton wrapped poly, or whatever. So it's like double the thickness. I could say, yeah, that would be good to use on the Juki too. That would work for any piecing. The only reason why people say, like, when the quilt police get involved, the only reason why they say anything about using polyester for piecing. No, it says a little bit in there. The thing about polyester for piecing is our fabric is 100% cotton. Okay, so their rule is that it's going to rip it and it's not going to last very long. But polyester is actually more heavy duty than cotton. So a quilt pieced with polyester, in theory, should actually last longer than a quilt pieced with cotton, if you think about it. Because polyester is a foreign fiber made by, humans. So it should be more tougher in theory, and it should last longer. They just say don't use it because it actually will rip the fabric, so your fabric it's woven together, and that's what creates fabric. It's cotton fibers that are turned into woven together. The fabrics, when a needle pokes it, it leaves a little hole, right? And when you heat it up or water it, the hole closes back up. But when you put polyester thread in it, it doesn't close back up. But if you put cotton thread in it, it actually closes tighter around that cotton thread. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I read a lot about that. But if you piece with the polyester, the hole is still there, but you've pieced with, say, 2 millimeter stitch per inch, pieced it on a 2. You're not really spreading it open too much. You're not ripping the fabric because it's a nice straight line of it. I've pieced, cotton fabrics with polyester thread and ripped on it, and it doesn't open up or anything. So, I mean, I don't see no problem with it. But again, there's quilt police out there that would say don't use it. But we quilt our quilts with polyester, so what's the difference? I don't see no difference. But that's just my own personal opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. And just don't throw, if you make stuff, if you start using polyester, like, and you started making mug rugs or bowl cozies, change back out to cotton thread, because you cannot put polyester thread in a microwave. Just know that. All right, we're doing.
What long arm do you use?
My long arm is a King Quilter. King Quilter 2 Elite. Let's see. Do I want all these facing one way?
No,
It's not a computerized. It's all free motion. I do everything free motion. No computer for me. I don't know how far across 7 is going to go, so I'm doing this while sitting for a minute because I still need to sit. I don't want to stand just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go this way 1, like 6. Wait. Nope, I did that wrong. 6. And 1 more on this side makes 7. That way. Now the next row will have the opposite direction. Now I think I'll stand because it might make it easier. Sorry, my legs are just really tired today. Look at this. I am. Look at how much thread is on me. I even have fabric on me. That's a lot.
You showing off your little squirts?
Oh yeah, my cute little skirts. Is like it. I'm in a little skirt.
They're really short.
I'm actually wearing real clothes though.
They're really shorts. They're
All right.
squirts.
Let's put the long one on the top side now. Like this. That way there's no two. Yeah. No, because I don't want those 2 seams touching. So hold on a second. I got to think about this real quick. Can't go that way. You can't go that way. Because the light and the dark is on that side. Oh no, it hits dark that way. So on the bottom, let's see what this looks like. On the bottom, that's a lot of seams to nest, but they are in opposite directions, I think. Or how about I just lay them and not care about which way they go? I don't know. Let's just put them on the wall and see. No, because I sewed them differently. So yeah, lights are touching. I forgot that I wasn't paying attention. I just didn't care about what side it went to. I could also alternate. You know, like this. Like that. Like that. Like this. Turn this one. And just make all sorts of a mess here. That's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to do it in a messy way. I like it messier. There we go. That's what I'm going to do. Messy. Messy. Oh, those 2 are the same. We don't want those 2 next to each other. For a second, grab another one with more. That fabric, there we go. I mean, it is just a scrap quilt, so it honestly doesn't matter how. Oh, those are all this. Like I said, there's a lot of same fabrics here, so I got to make sure I'm putting them. Oh, nope, those 2 are the same. All I have to do is rotate, though. It's the 6.5-inch piece that there's a lot of similar ones with. Like all of this whole stack right here, all the 6.5s are that purplish pink color. So I put one here, save one for the next row down here. There's probably 4 of these ones. Try to mix things up a little. Oh, nope, no, those aren't the same. Okay, good. This can go there. Next row. There we go. Yeah. See, this is looking cool. That's a lot bigger than I thought. 40 something inches. Oh, those are the same. Let's put those there. Oh, nope, those are the same. Turn it this way, and they're not the same. That way? Sure, why not? Uh-uh. Oh, nope, those are the same. Turn it that way, then they're not. I don't know how low the camera is seeing. I could either go up or down, huh?
You can go down one more.
Okay, we'll go down.
And you can go up if you want. I can just move the camera back.
Nope, nope, nope.
You can go up one more and down. That's your last row. You can go down that they can see. You can go up one more. They can see up to the.
Oh, no, I don't need to go up one more because this is the last row. I'm not even going to care. Like I said, guys, I'm just going to sew it together all wonky like this.
Looks all Minecrafty.
I might
Those
flip
kids and grandkids.
this one around because I didn't want two of the same seam going across. Let me see if there's any more of those. I don't see any more. Oh, nope, there's one right here. Put this one this way. Is there any more? I didn't want two 6 1/2s going straight across. I don't care if it's the 4 1/2s, but I don't want the 6 1/2s. And it doesn't look like any more are. All right, let's sew it together. So I'm just going to turn this. I'm going to sew 7 rows of 7. But I think I'm just going to chain piece the whole thing, like a web piece. Let's see if I can do this while standing, though. Web piece the whole thing. And then we should be able to finish it today. All right, here we go. And this way, I don't have to worry about nesting any seams. I'm just going to grab and sew, grab and sew. I'm not paying attention to the seams, even though they should be nested, but you know what? Like I said, it's a scrap quilt, and some of these I'm not going to be able to unless I flip it, so I really don't want to do that. I just want to sew. Just want to sew.
Tiffy's just wanna sew.
Yep, Tiffy just wants to sew. For sure. Quilters just wanna quilt. Oh yeah. Like the Beach Boys song. Dun, 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 dun. Well, what we were just watching, it was Rush Hour. That's what it was. That's why that stupid song is in my head.
Oh, they said congratulations on winning the Open Gate Motor Challenge.
Oh yeah. So I forgot. Hey, I won the Open Gate Motor Challenge. I didn't plan it. I really wasn't gonna enter it because I was like, it's me, everybody knows me and da 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 and whatever. But I never entered an actual challenge from another like for companies like Moda Challenge. I never did anything like that. So I was like, I got to at least do it once. So I did, and I won. Yep. So I won a fat quarter bundle or something. I don't even remember. It's been months since I entered that. All right, these are gonna go right, left, right, left, right, left. Wait, which way did I just push that? Or left, right, I should say. I'm just gonna use my finger to push them back for now. But you can take that whole thing hooked up there. Just take the whole thing off and show them my Moda challenge.
Which one? This one? The little one?
The one with the star, yeah. The whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know how it comes off.
have it actually hanging on my wall. So this was my Moda challenge that I won. I didn't know if they sent out a big email to tell everybody that I won it. But I didn't just make that. I used the leftover pieces, and if you turn it around,
Turning it. Wait.
it's got a whole nother side. Maybe that's why I won, because I turned mine into a little two-sided block. I don't know. But I was probably the only one that did a star. You know, I go above and beyond for things, right? I just, I have fun with my open gate boxes, and if there was a challenge, I was like, okay, I'll do this. Sure. I didn't want to do anything, plain. I got to go above and beyond with my stuff. So yeah, I won that. I found out this week because Monique emailed me, said, you won. And I was like, wait, I won what? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I entered that. But if it does another one, I probably won't. Just so that I give everyone else a shot, I guess. But I didn't win anything. I guess I don't have that great of stuff because, I didn't win anything on the SewingMachinesPlus one this year. I didn't win People's Choice, but I didn't tell anybody about it either. If I would have told the audience, I probably would have. I was really surprised. Yeah, it's like rigging it though, is what Scott says. When I tell my audience about entering, hey, vote for me, it's like rigging it, And I didn't want to do that. I like to enter now for my under my own, what is the word? If I'm going to win something merit. Under my own merit. Yeah, that's the word. Not because I told you guys to vote for me. Because I have won quite a few things over the years. But I like to give other people a shot too. But I've never entered a Moda challenge, so that's the only reason why I did that. I have no idea what I'm doing here. This was supposed to be pressed this way. Oh, it is. Okay. Whew, this talking and pressing. So, whew, I really almost just messed that up. So if you guys don't know what web piecing is, for those that are new to quilting, web piecing is, I literally am not getting any of this out of order because my whole entire thing is webbed together. That's what web piecing is. I'm carefully letting it just hang on the floor. My thread is strong, so it's literally holding it. I usually, since I'm standing to sew, I got my leg pressed against the desk to hold the rest of it up so that it's not pulling while I try to sew the one seam, because when it pulls, you can actually distort your seam. And I'm not trying to do that. So I just hold that next section with my leg or my hand so that it doesn't pull and distort. I actually have a cherry wood fabric challenge, previous one. Obviously that one's over with, but yeah, I do have. I got it and I never did it. Yeah, I got it from QuiltCon. I don't even remember. The last time it was in Phoenix, I think.
Well, that would be 2 years ago then.
Yeah, that would be 2 years ago.
You were just at the one in Phoenix.
Yeah, because I was just at the one in Phoenix. It wasn't this time. But yeah, I have. Why I just never did it. I also had a challenge from another quilt thing, and I never did it as well. But that one is just because I didn't have time to get it done. So. California. Why? Stop singing it, Tiffany.
It's okay. Sing it louder so they can hear it.
I'm just singing. I wish they all could be California girls. watching Rush Hour, and you know, stuff gets stuck in our heads. Which way is this? This one's that way. And this one's this way. This one's this way. This one is this way. And this one is this way.
What did you win?
What did I win? A fat quarter. I don't have it yet. She's sending it with my next box, with my next open gate box. Something from, it's a Moda something or other. It's a fat quarter bundle from Moda. And you guys know I don't know much about my fabric line, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you what it is until I get it. I think it says it on the challenge paper, which I don't know what I did with, but it's probably somewhere in this room, you know, because everything is over there on the industrials table.
Industrial has it all.
Yep. The industrial machine is become the landing zone, and it shouldn't be. I should be using it, but I've been on just this kick of only making quilts. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, you know, going a couple months without doing the other hobby that you have. My other hobby is bag making, but it's been a while since I made a bag.
That lady had you make 10 of them for her.
Yeah, since I made the last 10 bags. Yep, that's right. But that was done on this machine. I didn't even undo the other Juki for that, because that one didn't need to be sewn on this one. So a lot of people have asked me over the years from videos, why don't I web piece all the quilts? And honestly, it's impossible to web piece big quilts. Little blocks like this and little quilts, you can web piece them all you want. But when you start getting into the 10, that finish at 10 inches or whatever, or anything big and the whole quilt is supposed to be big, then it's impossible to chain or to web piece or chain piece like this with a whole entire big huge quilt. It gets hooked on the extension table, it gets drug on the floor, it gets stuck underneath my chair. Like, it's really hard to do. Oops, come on, Sam. All right, 2 more rows to sew on. So I'll get these 2 rows sewn on and then show you how I sew the rows, but then I'm going to get off of here and I will finish this off camera so that we can start something different next Sunday. Because I'm on a kick of using up scraps. I'm trying to get some of my scrap piles down, so next Sunday we'll start something new and I'll be able to show this top at least finished by then.
Do you ever use a walking foot?
I hate the walking foot for the Juki. That's the one part of this machine that I absolutely can't stand. Reason behind that is it is loud. I don't care if you just got your machine and it's freshly new and it's quiet, because when your Juki is new, it's quiet for like the first couple months. Then it gets loud. Soon as it gets dirty, it gets loud. Anyways, the walking foot.
AK-47 firing.
The walking foot on my old one sounds like an AK-47. The walking foot for this one sounds like an AK-47. The walking foot I've used on Jukis elsewhere sounds like an AK-47. It's definitely a loud foot to use, so what's the purpose? I've quilted quilts with just the regular 1/4 inch foot that's on here, and I've never had a problem. That's the worst part. They should have designed a better, Juki should design a better walking foot for the TL series, and or any machine that's like this, which is, I think it's all TL series. Because like they have the TL18 and the TL whatever and the TL2000 QI and so on and so forth. All those machines, the walking foot is just as loud as can be. What'd you cut yourself on? which way is that? That one's that way, that one's this way. Left. All right. Left. All right. Left. One more row. And then we can sew a row or two together before being done. Again, I'm not even bothering if the 2 4 patches end up next to each other. I'm not nesting any seams. I don't care at this point. I really don't. It's scrappy. It's supposed to be scrappy. It's supposed to be different. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a show quilt. It's supposed to be a usable quilt for a child because that's about the size it is. 42 by 42 is a definite baby quilt. And you know, it is okay to sew like this. That nobody says you have to match all your seams. Especially on scrap blocks like this that are 4 patches with 2 side pieces. It really doesn't matter. Last one, and then I can sew them together, and then I can sit down to do that part. All right. Left. All right. Left. All right. These are the seams that I'll nest, obviously, is the block seams themselves. All right. Left. All right, so this is the whole purpose of web piecing. If you were making specific blocks and you need to make sure they stay in a specific spot, notice nothing is out of order. It is exactly the way I took it off the wall. It's all hooked together. I can't lose any of it. Don't snip them apart, and you'll be fine.
Very pink. It's a Valentine's Day.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to sew these rows real quick. So when they're pieced like this, you just literally take this top row and that second row, put them right sides together. The rest of it will sit on the side of you. And I build like 4 rows until I just turn it the opposite way. So again, I'm only nesting the seams that I finger pressed for the blocks. Everything else I'm just ignoring because there's no sense in anything being matched up. I am trying to prevent the seams from flipping up though, because that does create bulk. But this right here I find is a very efficient way to keep smaller projects together. And that way you don't have to get up and get down every time you need to sew the row together. Like I don't have to get up and grab another row from the wall. It's all literally at my face, so I can sit down for the next however many minutes and sew it all together. So once one set is sewn, you got 2. Now I'm just going to take these 2 and put it over the next. And so on and so forth until all the rows are sewn, except I stop about 4 and then start going the opposite way. So I just line them up. And honestly, I might be able to just finish all this tonight. Because it's only going to take a few minutes, you know?
You're good.
Stay which way I put you, seam. Thank you. I did only finger press at this point. I did not take it to press it, so my seam's kind of going whatever way. They're sort of almost fully finger pressed too. Come on, right there. Thank you. This is a small quilt. This should be easy. All right, so now there's 3. I will put 3 on top of that 4th one. And after this one, then I'm going to swap and go the opposite direction. Just line up my end. Everything's together. Nothing is coming undone. Will you do me a favor, though? Unplug this iron and plug in the other one. And leave it on the ironing board so I can do a quick ironing board press as soon as this is done.
Some water in this one? This one's almost done too.
Yeah, that's a minute. Huh?
You gonna iron it now?
Yeah, to show it finished. All right, so I have 4 together, and what I'm going to do now is swap positions because now that bottom section is big enough. So now I'm going to have the big already put together side on one, and then the other or on the other side. So see how, it balances it out. So these are now sitting flat, and I don't take the chance of these getting stuck on the extension table, the web part of it. So I swap it after a little bit. I don't do it after 1 or 2 because it's not enough. But after the 4th one, it's usually enough. After the 4th row. Because then there's 3, rows left. So beginners, if you ever want to try this, I find that this saves a lot of brain cells. It does. Because you're not worried about where those pieces are gonna, get put in wrong, and then you sew it. But if you keep them all together in one web, then nothing gets messed up. Especially the row. Have you ever laid the row on your design wall or the floor, whatever, and then you go to put it together, but by the time you get to the sewing machine, it's already flipped upside down? Somehow it does it, and the whole row just ends up wrong. This prevents that. This prevents anything from getting out of place. So then I just lift it to where the next 2 are touching.
Have you ever webbed a quilt on point?
On-point webbing is a little bit harder. I have not done, I've done it once, but I've not done it since. It's really hard. Because it sits crooked, if that makes any sense. This is straight. It's right on top of each other. Yeah, but I haven't done on point. On point, I really try to pay attention to. And this, I can't web piece on point. I mean, you could try for you, but it wasn't much of a much of a success to me. Yeah. Oh, not just me. Okay. Oh, this is no, that's my seam. No, this is my seam. Whew. That's why, because this one made me think it wasn't.
He's trying it.
Oh, he's trying it. Yeah, it might be a little difficult. But I started doing this web piecing thing years ago, back when I was still in the garage. And yeah, This, I think, is a lot easier for the littler things. I have web pieced, though, a big giant quilt before, and you guys watched me do it, and remember it kept getting stuck on everything? That's the only reason why I don't do it no more. Because it's just too much. It's a hassle. And I'd rather have a stress-free sewing experience. And this is stress-free. Especially when I'm really not even nesting seams or anything. This is like the best kind of sewing. Just the have fun, however it lands. It's good. That's what we're calling it. Good. I guess that's the cool thing about like crumb quilting too. You don't have to nest anything up. Just put all your crumbs together. If your rows don't match up, you know, when you turn those crumbs into blocks, it's not going to matter because it's crumbs and it's a mess, you know. All right, I'm going to press this and then you guys can see it. Because it'll be done, completely done. No, you don't need to turn to the iron. It'll be a surprise when I hang it on the wall. It literally is going to take me just a minute because it's only 7 blocks across by 7 down. It's only 42 inches, so I'll just press one half and then the other half. No, I don't have any. Well, I probably do have tons of this stuff, but no, I'm not going to put a border. I'm just going to call it a day at the end of it. This probably sew together all those scraps and make binding for it.
You don't have enough pink scraps here to make a pink border?
No. I mean, I probably do. Yeah, I could sew it all together, but I thought maybe just using it for binding.
Oh, okay. Pink binding, pink backing, pink tag.
Yep, they're going to all be pink. I need to scoot myself over. I feel like I'm hugging it. Okay, flip it the other way and do those last 3
The little iron has a
seams.
needle cord. Otherwise, it's so cheap at the dollar store.
Yep. Yeah, most irons have a 10-foot cord. Something like that, or 7-foot, 10-foot.
I don't think it's even 5. It's like 4 foot.
I know that Olisos have really long cords. I will give it a better press later. This iron, the only thing about pressing whole quilts with this iron is that it's not weighty, so it's yanking the seams every time I hit one. It yanks it instead of.
I couldn't plug the other one in. It's right here's the other one.
All right.
You didn't say, I asked you.
The finished. No, I got it. Finished little baby quilt. Well, quilt top, not finished quilt yet, but the top at least. And it is 42 exactly by 42 exactly. Let me see how exact I am with this 3 measurement thing. Let's measure in the middle now. 42. Let's measure at the bottom. 42. Let's measure the middle. 42 exact. And 42 exact. Look at that. Perfectly square quilt. I think it has to do with the fact that I web pieced it. It's cute. I like it. And then I'll just sew all the rest of that together and make binding. With straight seams, you know, because straight seam binding is okay too. Look at that. And it's just wonky and it looks great. I did realize that 2 straight pieces were right here next to each other. But you can't even tell that I didn't purposely nest any seams. It's a disaster, but you can't tell because it's busy. So technically this is like a monochromatic quilt in a technical term, you know?
Jim and I both think it looks like Minecraft.
Minecraft, yeah. Well, maybe it's the girly girl version.
Well, if anybody everybody's got kids or grandkids
Yeah.
or whatever. That stuff is popular. You know, CJ was huge into that Minecraft.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, I finished that. And look at that. I only went over by 10 minutes.
How small of a piece will you join for the binding?
How small of a piece will I join for the binding? Probably no less than 2.5 inches. I don't like to have, but I have all this left. So, I mean, I could just sew it all together and have binding. I'm pretty sure there's enough here for binding, you know, because if each piece is like this and like that. But I will not sew this into it because this is too small. But this I will cut into 1-inch squares. But this might be too small. That's smaller than 2.5 inches. But these two look like almost 2.5. So I'll sew these in. But the rest of it I won't. The small stuff. But yeah, there's enough here to make binding. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Oh, a pink QR code. That's what it, yeah, that's what it looks like, a QR code, huh?
That's what a lot of the fans were saying. So I said it's a pink QR code.
Yeah.
I agreed with that. They're the one that said it.
I wonder what would happen if you scanned it. Where would
Yeah.
it take you? All right, guys. Any questions? I don't see any questions.
How did you learn to sew and quilt?
How did I learn to sew and quilt? Quick talk about that. Well, guess what? I taught myself. I saw some picture on the internet. I sewed it myself because I saw a quilt and I started sewing it. But I always knew how to sew. I always knew how to sew. I just didn't learn enough about it. But I hemmed all of my kids' clothes. I fixed all their clothes because I had a sewing machine. I knew how to do that. And I also have made clothing in the past. But as soon as I saw a quilt, I was like, oh, I can do that. And then I made a quilt. But I had already been sewing other stuff. So I know how to sew. I just didn't know anything about quilting. So now I do. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for hanging out. I truly appreciate it. And I will see you guys. Hopefully tomorrow I'll come on and we'll do some of these cards. So see you guys. Bye.